Hey everybody, it's this strategy game that's an international classic and sensation. It's modern day chess, or Othello, the game that takes a minute to learn and a lifetime to master. Othello! Simple, a minute to learn. Place a blank disc here and to outflank a row, and flip the discs in that row. Complex, a lifetime to master. Place a white disc here to outflank several rows, and flip all the discs in these rows. Copyright 1966. 1986. Same year as me. Othello, a Milton Bradley game. Othello is a fast-moving classic strategy game played with discs that are black on one side and white on the other side. It's what you play with one color and your opponent plays with the other. Another one of those classic racist games that makes you pit the white man against the black man. Take turns placing the discs one at a time on the game board with your color facing up. Try to outflank your opponent by placing your discs at both ends of your on a row. Then turn your disc over so your color shows. Carefully plan how to best outflank as many of your opponent's discs as possible and flip them to your color. If more discs of your color show at the end of the game, you're the winner. You know what? I just thought about this for a moment, and they could make a Othello Politics Edition, Congress Edition, and just make the discs red and blue on one side and have exactly 536 discs in the game, and make it like bigger, or maybe make it Senator version and have exactly 100 discs in the game, and have, like I said, blue on one side, red on the other side, right? And red is for the Republicans, the conservatives. Blue is for the liberals, the Democrats, right? And then you could have pretty much the same game, and all you have to do is change the color of the discs. Then you and you, if you're conservative, or you if you're a liberal, or whatever, y'all can play against each other and see who's smarter, I guess. Let's see how that works out with Othello. And it would be funny too, because it would be basically it'd be basically the same game, but they could rebrand it for a political, to just say Othello Politics Edition, right? And one side would be blue, and one side would be red, and y'all just like still playing the classic game, and you're trying to flip seats. It comes with a theme where you're flipping seats. Okay, so say you flip the seats by having two, and it makes it, see, that's how you flip them. Yeah. Okay. When you surround your political opponent, whether it's Republican or Democrat, with enough Republicans or Democrats around, that flips the seats, and y'all now have more seats. And then you find out who has the majority Senate votes or Congress votes or whatever in the House or the Senate or the Congress or whatever, and that person wins the game. Now, would work perfectly for senators, because I believe this game, if I'm not mistaken, already has exactly 100 discs. No, this game has 32 discs each. uh, which is only 64 discs, so that's not enough. But you could make it bigger. Like if you made the board bigger and or the space is smaller, um, and the disc smaller, bigger or smaller. You'd have to make it a 10 by 10 grid, so it would have 100 spaces. This is only a 1, 2, 3, 8 by 8 grid, so it only has 64 spaces. So you would have to make the board bigger. The concept would still be the same. I actually don't think you would change Othello any much if you gave it a bigger grid and had more pieces. You would just make the game last a little bit longer. See, with this particular game, since each player only has 32 discs, there's exactly 32 turns, and the game's over. Can you count who has the most, blacks or whites? And if you made the grid bigger, say a 10 by 10 grid, which now has 100 and each player has 50 discs each, you now have a longer game that would be exactly 50 turns. Each player getting one turn. 2 turns is a round. It actually, yeah. Anyway, remember, God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. And now, you could also make this game the same way it is right now. Black being evil, white being good. You could make a good versus evil theme. Othello. Yeah, that would work. Um, and black would be evil, of course, and white would be good, and not because of racism that black people are bad or white people are good. No, that not for that concept. Just because sin is dark and black, and men love darkness rather than light, and white as snow is good from God. You know, God who washes us white as snow. You could also make a fire versus ice themed, which would again just be fire discs. Like you could make the discs look like fireballs, um, and that would be red. And then you could make the other, which would be cool if you made it like translucent, where the sides look red, fiery, translucent on one side, and on the other side they look bluish, translucent, like ice on the other side. That would be pretty cool. Um, so you can make it like a fire and ice edition, fire versus ice. Um, yeah. So I'm just wondering why the makers of an Othello, they don't just make, why don't they make like themed editions of Othello? Because they make themed editions of all kinds of other games like Monopoly, for example, and Life, and all these other classic games. And they've even made themed editions of chess. And they're missing out on this like perfect game right here that's so easy to make, produce, create, that all they have to do is just pretty much change the colors of the discs, and maybe, just maybe, put like little print, like little like soldier people or whatever on the discs. Like if you wanted to make a theme of some video game or war game or whatever, you could just put and print the pictures of like the classic characters or whatever on there, I guess, or TV show or whatever. I mean, you could, I mean, theoretically, you could print like X-Men on one side and like the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants people on the other side, for example, and have like an X-Men themed version. You could do that with almost any TV show, animated show, cartoon, whatever, video game franchise. I mean, you could do that with almost anything, and you just print like or come with stickers or something of the different kinds of things. You could even do various different fantasy things like a Dungeons and Dragons theme version where you have like the where you have like different races versus different races. You know what I'm getting at. Anyway, that's enough of me ranting and raving about that. Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember that God is good all the time. All the time, God is good. Comment down below like a theme that you probably wouldn't mind seeing an Othello version of. Like for real, you could do dark side versus light side is what I'm getting at with Star Wars, because you could have like the Jedi and the Sith, and you could print out famous Jedi and famous Sith on both sides like of the thing, and they're fighting and converting each other back and forth and whatnot. You could do a Star Trek version, maybe like the Federation versus other factions. Um, I'm just thinking of all the various different franchises out there that you could literally make an Othello version of. Heck, even maybe just out of curiosity, maybe there would be a way to make a 3D version of Othello, and you could make like a Star Trek version of it because Star Trek had 3D chess. Why not have 3D Othello? And the pieces would be, various different ships. You could like print different ships out on both sides, or something. Maybe it could be the Federation and everybody else versus like the Borg, because the Borg keep flipping the Federation ships to add to their collective or whatever, while the other everybody else destroys a Borg ship and builds a new ship somehow. I don't know. You don't have to have special rules, even though special rules are usually added with special edition games. But still, you really don't have to have special rules. You just have to have the game. Later.